Let's be real for a second. How many times have you typed something like, I need a therapist who gets anxiety, takes my insurance, and can see me on a weekend, only to get hit with a wall of ads and websites that look like they haven't been updated since 2005? It is so frustrating. But what if there was a totally different way to do this? Well, today we're diving into HealthPicks.ai, a platform that wants to be your personal co-pilot for navigating your health.
So, here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about the problem, what I'm calling the health search maze. Then we'll get into their solution, this digital health co-pilot idea. We're going to break down the tech behind their intelligent intake quiz, see how they're bridging human and AI to build trust, and then look ahead to their big vision for the future of curation.
All right, let's start with something we all know way too well. The old, frustrating, totally broken way of trying to find healthcare on the internet. I mean, you know the feeling, right? That little bit of dread when you open a browser, knowing you're about to face an endless scroll of sponsored links, directories that look the same, and reviews that are all over the place. It's not just a hassle. It can honestly make you feel even more stressed out than when you started looking.
And this slide just hits the nail on the head. We're forced to use these really simple, kind of dumb search terms, but what we actually need is so much more specific and personal. A search engine just doesn't get the nuances of our insurance plan or our budget or our very specific personal needs. There's this huge gap between the words we type and the actual care we're looking for.
Yeah, this quote right here just perfectly sums it all up. The system has been broken for a long time. It's fragmented, it feels impersonal, and it's just plain overwhelming. It's been built for advertisers, not for patients. And that's exactly where new tech is finally starting to make a difference.
Which brings us to the solution. And what's interesting here is that this isn't just about building a better search bar. It's a totally new way of thinking about the problem. Let's explore this idea of a digital health co-pilot.
So instead of just dumping 1,000 search results on you and saying, good luck, the co-pilot idea is all about giving you smart, personalized guidance. The engine behind it is this concept they call human-first intelligence. It's basically a mashup of fast, powerful AI with the common sense and expertise of real people. It's about really understanding you and then helping you navigate to the right kind of care.
So what exactly is human-first intelligence? Well, think of it as a hybrid model. The AI does all the heavy lifting, right? It crunches the data, analyzes your needs super fast, but, and this is absolutely the most crucial part, every single recommendation it makes is then checked by a real human expert. They're making sure it's safe, it's trustworthy, and it's actually high quality.
And you can see this whole philosophy baked right into their mission statement. The whole goal is to combine the best of both worlds. You get the expertise and empathy of humans, plus the power and speed of smart AI. The end result? Recommendations you can actually feel good about.
Okay, so how does this co-pilot get to know you any better than a regular search engine? Well, it all kicks off with their secret sauce, the intelligent intake quiz.
So instead of one search box, it walks you through this really simple 5-step process. It starts with the basics, but then it does something super important. It asks you to describe what's going on in your own words. This lets the AI pick up on all the little details. Then it layers in your preferences, your insurance situation, and where you live. It's all about getting the context, not just a couple of keywords. And here's where the really cool part happens. All that information you just gave it gets fed into this smart algorithm. And as you can see, it's not just looking for one thing. It's a weighted system that knows what's most important. The provider's specialty is huge, of course, but so is your budget and insurance. Your personal preferences matter too. It all adds up to a single, personalized match score that's made just for you.
And what you get at the end isn't another endless list to scroll through. Nope, you get a carefully curated list of the top 3 matches. And here's the key. It doesn't just give you their names. It tells you why each one is a good fit, pointing back to the specific answers you gave. It's all about being transparent and helping you feel confident in the choices.
Okay, so whenever you start talking about AI and healthcare, the big question is always about trust, right? How can you be sure the information is actually reliable? Well, HealthPicks seems to address this head-on, focusing on how to bridge that gap between human knowledge and AI.
So how do they make sure you can trust what you're seeing? It all comes down to something they call their VITA VQ Protocol. Basically, it's a whole system they've built to make sure that every piece of data on their platform gets a human stamp of approval. That means a real person is checking everything, from a doctor's license to the info the AI brings up. It's like a human-powered safety net for the whole thing. And this idea of blending the human and the digital isn't just some process running in the background. It's actually the core of their entire brand, something they call the trust gradient.
The trust gradient is a design idea that you can literally see all over the platform. Look at their colors. They move from this warm, natural vitality green over to this sharp, technical electric teal. It's a constant visual cue that you're in a space that's both human and empathetic, but also precise and data-driven. It's a really clever way to show the blend of human care and tech.
All right, let's zoom out for the big picture, because this smart quiz is really just the front door. The long-term vision here is way bigger. It's about building a whole new ecosystem for health discovery.
The best way to think about it is as a two-part strategy. On one side, you've got HealthPicks.com. That's kind of like the big public library of healthcare, a huge directory where you can search, browse, and read up on providers. But then you have HealthPicks.ai, which is like having your own personal librarian who knows exactly what you need. That's the premium personalized matching service.
And these two sides work together perfectly. The .com site builds up this massive provider network and pulls in tons of people from search engines. Then, the AI site is there to capture the people who are ready to find a match right now. They feed traffic back and forth, creating this powerful flywheel that lets them build two totally separate ways of making money. It's a really smart setup.
So, it all comes down to this one big question. If you have a system that actually understands what you mean, that puts trust first with human verification, and that's built on a smart, sustainable business model, could this finally be the end of the frustrating guessing game we all play when trying to find the right healthcare? It's a pretty exciting thought for the future of our health.